Okay, a lot of y'all know I'm a retired Near Eastern researcher and I've gotten down many rabbit holes, but I'm needing a little help here. I'm trying to track down something which is apparently extremely important in our modern day situation, in our civilization that we have. We're in 2021 for anybody in the future who has already figured out who this is. But, because we need to figure out who this guy is. His name is Ray Cyst. Now, it doesn't usually show up as Raymond or anything like that. It's just straight Ray. And so I've tried to look this up, and it's weird, but he seems to have lived an extreme long amount of time, or somewhat like the pirate Roberts. He must pass on his name and they keep changing it. But what's also odd is it seems that everybody that keeps naming, as they think they find him, they keep telling you that other people aren't who they are. They're actually Ray. It's weird, yeah. So this Ray character is pretty weird. It gets pretty deep too. But during my regular looking, I just trying to Google it or whatever, and what you'll usually end up with is some odd pictures and stuff of people that are taking x-rays of cysts. And I'm like, well, that's not what they're talking about, is it? Surely not. And then if you look into it more, this x-ray, and you find out that Malcolm X wasn't his real name apparently, that he was this Ray Cyst character. And you're like, what? Well, some people think that he was, and some people think that he wasn't. It's pretty confusing. But all you'll keep getting is pictures of these x-ray cysts here off of it. So I delved deeper into this Ray character and Malcolm X, and all these black people seem to be real assured of who this Ray guy is. And apparently, oddly, like a backwards thing to them, it seems like, I don't know, let's see if I can say this delicately, but apparently there was a real rich slave master named Ray Cyst back in the day, because there's a whole lot of black people that, even though they've taken on white names and stuff nowadays, people keep pointing out that that's not who they are. They're actually this Ray guy. Yeah, check into it. It is weird. And there's a lot of them too, no matter what their name is. They'll come on like videos and stuff and named Hotep Jesus and stuff, but they're actually this Ray guy. It's pretty odd. So I looked up cyst, and of course this goes with this pus-filled kind of thing, and it's kind of nasty. And I don't know how this guy got this name. It just seems to be quite odd, but it passes around quite a bit, and it seems to have multiplied somewhat. Yeah, it's kind of like that pandemic thing or whatever, apparently, because everybody is now gotten to the point where they're all trying to point at everybody and say that they're all this Ray guy. They're all Ray, So I looked up Ray, and it has to do with the sun, right? And so the sun's rays and everything, and the Caucasian Egyptians and so on. In fact, whenever I first started running into this, believe it or not, somebody said that I was this Ray guy, and I was like, nah. But so where it showed up was whenever I did a video about the ancient Egyptians and how from the pre-dynastic on, with Ginger, the pre-dynastic Gibelin mummy, and so on, and then they had these statues that were blue-eyed, and how their phenotype really looked before they developed this constant phenotype, and that their red ochre males and pale females was common with the Minoans and the Etruscans, Mitannian Greek art of the time, and we weren't confused about that and so on, and just put that out there along with studying some of the ancient cultures and doing videos about it. And then all of a sudden, boom, I got told that I was this Ray character. But then shortly after, some people jumped on the same thread and they said, that the person that came onto my thread was actually the Ray character. and he left and never came back. And so I think that it was, but apparently he changed his name a few times because he keeps showing up on my vids, and I don't know if anybody else has had this phenomenon where he shows up and he just tries to say, even though you've studied for over 35 years and da 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 and everything, that doesn't mean anything because you're Ray. And I'm like, man, I don't even know who this Ray guy is, but I'm starting to look into it, and I figured out that there's a whole lot of these Rays out there. It's just kind of, if does anybody have any type of idea who they are? I mean, it seems like every person that you ask can kind of point at one person and try to say that they're Ray. It's weird. And different people sometimes will all say that this one guy is, and they all hound in on it real quick, and then you find out that it's not Ray or whatever, but they try to put it on people and stuff. It's like a label or something, this Ray character. If y'all have any insight to this, let me know. I mean, because it's gotten out of hand here, and apparently there's just a whole bunch of pointing going around, almost like some Salem witch trials or crap, where she's a witch, and then you're Ray. And so I always want to name his last name too and everything. They want to make sure that that it's not, Ray Bolger, who was the Scarecrow and Wizard of Oz, or any other Ray that there possibly could be, or Sugar Ray Leonard or anything. But bam, it's Ray Cyst, this guy. I don't know what his middle name is. I can't find out. If anybody knows, put it down in the comments below. I've heard a few things that may indicate it, but because there's a few different versions of that, I can't get any exactness off of it, not even an initial. It looks like this is the common spelling for it in the modern day, though, but it could be spelled S-I-S-T. Hold on, my wife's got something. What? You're sure? No, because you're positive. Oh, okay. This just in from my wife. She heard me making the video here, and she seems to think that I've got this wrong, that the C-Y-S-T is spelled S-I-S-T, and that's the actual spellation, and that's the secret. Yeah. So we're going to have to look into this more, but I may have just found a clue. There is this one thing that I found, and it's on the internet, and apparently it's derived from ancient Cro-Magnon some 40,000 years ago, and it was apparently the first inkling of this Ray Cyst guy, because it says it like in some Neanderthal dialect or something in the middle of it. You can check out a little portion of it here and see if you can really catch a bit of it.
Get into this thrash metal music?
When he says, that's supposed to be it right there, and he's calling him out. Now, it's thought that this may be the first inclination, and this is maybe perhaps versus Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon somehow, but then there's also this thought that it could be between the Denisovans, and that this is just an old folk tale that the Cro-Magnons have gotten. Check out the break, it's pretty cool. It's up on the charts now, up to number 3 with a bullet. It's Stevie T and Jim Carey with the Cro Mag song, or what its actual title is, I'm about tired of this stupid shit and gonna go Cro Mag on that ass. Let's listen. Little Axl Rose there. There's an Irish breakdown I can really relate to.